morning, guys, and welcome to the Silver 5150 channel. It is March 4th, 2020. I just wanted to touch base with you guys and give you a couple of observations on the way to work. The first observation I want to make is where we're headed financially with all the crisis talk that's going on out there. And for a long time, I've been watching the Federal Reserve and other central banks and all the stunts they've been pulling to try to keep the party going with the stock market. And, they're trying to hold up pensions, which is a good thing. But the stock market, maybe not. Excuse me. So, in any case, I remember we had a global malaise back in the 1980s. Well, in the 70s coming into the 80s. It started with the oil crisis. In the 70s, we had double-digit inflation going into loan systems and the houses. You want to buy a home. It was, 17%, interest and all that stuff. Junk bonds were like 25%. But the big stigma was the threat of nuclear war. And if you weren't there in the 80s during that time, sorry about the shimmery screen there. If you weren't in the 80s, if you weren't there at that time in the 80s, when Reagan came on as president, it really ramped up the threat of nuclear war between countries. And people, as a result, man, they were living in two different worlds. Some were just like bummed out to the point where they were almost immobilized. And then others were like, you know what? Prince said we're going to party till it's 1999, or like it's 1999. And that's what people were doing. They were just like partying and having a good time, and everybody was cutting loose, and it became the big 80s as a result, because people they were not holding back. They were not being frugal. They were going for it. If they had money, they were spending it and stuff, and it actually triggered the economy to move pretty quickly because people thought the end was near. Well, here we are now with the coronavirus, and I'm telling you, if you listen to the robustness of this critter, this bug, man, it sounds like we don't have a chance. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think when the real numbers come out, I think, we're going to have a high number of people that will become infected, but I think we're also going to have a high number of people that are going to survive it. They'll probably get sick, and, we'll have some loss of life, but I think in the end, most of us are going to make it through it, especially if you start to immunize yourself or build your immune system, which I'm going to do a video on that later this week. But the funny thing about it is that, the media and the governments are making sure to tout that, the end is near and, they're doing everything they can to fix it. But in the background, trust me, they're finding a way to try to turn this into an excuse to get rid of all the bad debt that they've created over the decades. So that's the first observation I want to make. The second observation I wanted to, it's not an observation, it's a recommendation, is that, this thing is bad. The coronavirus, this new one here is bad. It's got 5 or 6 layers of protein around it. It can live on a surface for a week. It can float down the hallway and get into your office. It's deadly. I think it might be something bioengineered. I'm not going to go there. That's a rabbit hole. But what I will say is this. Be vigilant. Use your hand cleaners, your hand sanitizers, all that good stuff. Use masks where and when necessary. Use any kind of protective posture you need to use when necessary. Right? But more important than that, is start to boost your immune system, man. Start to boost your immune system. I'm going to show you some things that I picked up, of course, off of YouTube. And they're going to, I think, be instrumental in getting you to where you can actually fight on the inside as well as make your efforts on the outside. And the idea, guys, is to get through this, especially as stackers. Okay, I love people. I love people in the world, but I'm telling you right now, I have a special love for my stacking community out there. And the reason why I do is because we're talking about a group of people that are not only prudent, but they are forward thinkers. They are visionaries. We are people that are trying to see the financial system and see what it's going to be later on, and then try to, function in it or probably be a blessing in it for other people. So I'm telling you, because I know you guys are watching, be on the lookout for my next video. I'm going to tell you about some things that are really going to help you boost your immune system. We got to get through this. We got to survive this. We still got to party with the Monkey King, folks. That's not gone. It's just on the back burner, but we still got to do this stuff. We still got to go out and we still got to, help rebuild the economy and, and then of course live large as a result. But we got to get through this. And so to get through this, we're going to talk about things you can do on the inside of your body as well as things you can do on the outside in my next video. And let's do it, man. Let's survive this, like we survived nuclear war. I wonder if it was engineered. Anyway, and then get to the big, or the next roaring 20s, so to speak. Let's just do that. Let's just make this the new roaring 20s. All right, guys. Enough yammering. I got to get to work. Like everybody else out there, still trying to get it done despite the crisis. Like, share, subscribe, comment. And we'll talk to you next time.